forms of haircutting degrees and talking about the shape of the head, which is very important. A lot of stylists that I've been noticing, and also myself, you know, we still have a little bit of problems with haircuts. Sometimes we're like, ooh, that's a little bit off, and that's a little bit this and that. And it's based upon discipline. First, it's about discipline, how we stand, where we're situated, how your client is sitting. All these things are important. If your client is on the phone, she's sitting up with her legs crossed, you're not going to get a great haircut. Okay? You're going to get an asymmetrical haircut all the time. If she's tilting or she's tilting the baby, things like that, you're going to have a problem with getting a really good haircut. So, first of all, it's about discipline. So when anyone sits in my chair, my clients know how disciplined I am about haircutting. So if they're on the phone, I would stand back. And they'll look at me like, oh, are you ready? I'm waiting for you. Because the bottom line is that you are using shears, which cut off. So if, you know, if they're on the phone and then you cut the wrong thing, then pretty much that's a little bit of your fault and their fault as well. So you have to really explain them and get them into the point to get them at the point to where they have to understand about discipline and getting their hair service. You know, anytime, even with heating utensils and things like that. Oh, in the front. You stand for this now? Turn this around. Also, your chair, make sure your pump is around you. And that's in the front of the line. Y'all do like that. Make sure your pump is towards you. Okay. Pronounce your name. Liner. Okay. This is my beautiful model Liner. I'm sure everyone knows Liner. And this line, no one ever. Okay, this is Liner.
Good morning, Liner. Good morning.
So, back to discipline in haircutting. The way you stand is very important. If you're standing right up on the client to try to cut hair, you're not going to get a very good haircut because of the way your body is positioned. You know, if you're standing straight up or you're trying to talk, you know, or you on the phone, which is a pet peeve of mine. If stylists on the phone trying to do someone's hair in the chair, that's a real pet peeve of mine because it's not about you right now. It's about the client in the chair. You're trying to bring the client back to you. You're trying to give her the best services possible. You know, the best haircut, the best curling technique. You know, when she gets her hair done, when she walks out the street, she's representing you. She's representing Barbara's salon. She's not representing Lina. She's not representing, what's your name? Nikki. She's a, the first thing, if Nikki give her a bad haircut, or Lina gives her a bad haircut, they gonna say Barbara's can't do hair. They're not gonna say Nikki. They're not gonna say Lina. They're gonna say Barbara's. So Barbara is shut down because Nikki gave a bad haircut because Nikki was on the phone talking to her boo, talking about what she gonna do, what she gonna wear, blah blah blah. And this girl still got a hole in her head. So Barbara's beauty salon can't do hair, and your name will come way after. Okay. So the bottom line is that when you put your clients out there, you're representing this salon. You're not representing yourself as an individual, even though you may be independent contractors, but you're representing the salon as a whole. So be aware of that. You know, you want to keep the salon, you want to keep the people in the salon. You don't want them to drive them away or get any type of bad, any type of salon bad reputation at all. Okay. Okay, let's get right into haircut. Okay, great. Okay. Now, Lina has color treated hair, and she has thermal texturized at the top, which we call press and curl. Thermal texturized is new terminology that came out several years ago. And what I decided to do was, she was actually how I'm going to cut my hair. So basically what I decided, I want to make her a little bit more edgy, a little more funky. She has a daughter, but it may not look like it, but she does. And you know, they to me look like sisters. So I wanted to make sure that she still stayed current with today's types of hairstyles. Not that she wasn't, but I'm just going to make her just a little bit more edgier. Okay. Now, so what I decided to do, she has a very nice shaped head. This is one thing I try to tell stylists to really pay attention to. You always want to make an assessment of the head. So you want to make sure that the head is nice and round, and where there's like you have a little bit more, some people's occipital bone may protrude a lot, some people have a hook, some people have a lip, Some people have more, a little bit more access, a little more skin back here. So all those things you have to pay attention to make sure that you get a very good haircut. Because if you cut it too low, if someone has more skin back here, then you're going to see that. Nobody wants to see that I have wrinkles in the back of my hair. No one will see I have a big hook back here, you know. So with Lina, she has a great hair, really, really good head. Great job. Really good head. I mean, she doesn't have a protruding of the bone. I can put anything on her head and it will look good. This is a perfect head, you know. And I'm not just saying that, but it is a perfect head because she has a nice size head. And you look at her from the side, you don't see anything protruding out. Okay, she doesn't have any flatness here, so it's round here. Some clients are a little flat right here. She has a little bit, but not as much as some people have a really flat slope here. So you have to keep in mind about what this is going about, not putting square lines up here. If you put square lines, which are straight lines like this, are going to cause the hair to be flat. You're telling the hair, I want it to be flat in this area. So I'm putting square lines on the side of her head because I want it to be really flat and tapered. I want it to be flat and I want it to go all the way around. If I put rounder lines like this, I'm telling the hair I want it to be having a little bit more of a hump to it. Okay? A little more roundness to it. I want it to be flat here. Okay? So those things you have to keep in mind, those round lines and those square lines. Okay, square lines, you're going against the gravity of the hair. You're basically telling the hair that, like I said, you want it to be flat all the way around. You don't want any type of roundness at all, period. Okay? So, I section her hair off. And people were wondering, how did you section her hair off? What are you trying to see? What are you trying to prove? So, the bottom line is that I section her hair off at a good angle, right above her occipital bone, because she can really hang with this. This can really do very well for her because on this slope here, on this axis here, this hair is going to pop off on this side. So it's going to give her a little bit more push here. Okay, so that's why I decided where I want this to be. I could have went up even higher, and her haircut would still even look great. She started with an asymmetrical haircut. She will finish with an asymmetrical haircut. She had hair all the way back here in this area here. I told her that, well, you know, you really don't need all this hair back here because when I comb this down, you're still going to have the same thing. So she's going to have a disconnection between this area and here. Okay? Let me know if I'm going too fast. I know we got to cover this real short, okay? Now, from the front of her hair, I came around right above, or should I say below her recession line. You know the recession line, where everyone recedes. That's a recession line. So every time you hear that, the recession line, you know that's exactly where the hair is beginning to recede at. And so I came a little bit.
People like me recede a little bit more.
if you recede a little bit more, you're not trying to enhance that, okay? So
they asked me did I lived in Reseda.
Right. I noticed she has a recession line. So when I go in and I do my detailed work on her, I'm going to make sure that I cut a really good line in there so it doesn't look like she's receding. So you have a lot of women that have very thin edges. You have to take account that you have to sometimes leave a little more hair. Every haircut is not even, and it's for a reason. When you go to if anyone owns a house in here, houses are not perfectly designed. They're not perfect squares because they're off. If you lay tile on the floor, all you gotta do is look at the corners, you can tell that it's off. Okay? So the thing about it with a haircut, you have to learn that if she has very thin edges here, then I would have took off this much hair. I would have left a little bit more, but I would have took it shorter in this area. So I'll be short and have a little longer here. So when I do my outline, it will look like it's all one line. It will look like it's a 90-degree angle. Okay? So all those you have to take in consideration. Okay, so I started her haircut, so I'm actually cutting pretty much a 90-degree angle. That's it. But I'm actually not rounding it off. I'm actually just going right up to the line. So I'm actually going to have a little bit of weight here, but not a lot. Okay. If I would have took her hair right above, and then we